Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. This is Ishwa here. I'm the founder of Unsolved. We have a super interesting weekly brainstorm today. Actually, I was very confused on whether to do this as a brainstorm, whether to interview Kyle and figure out how he's done all that he's done. 400K app downloads, he has 250 million cumulative followers across social media channels. He's just graduated from engineering college, and so is his team, a co-founding team, which kind of and very interesting story. They joined the same college because they wanted to work on what they were working. So they decided to go to the same college and decided to be pretty much the same room and all of that, just so that they could continue working on what they were doing. Very early decision to kind of do things their own way. So so as I said, I mean, actually, there's a bunch that we can learn from Kyle. But still, what really got me kicked about Kyle was that he's still very much in, very unassuming learning mode. I mean, for a lot of people, this will be the time where they would say, yes, yeah, I've got 400K downloads. I know what I'm doing. I've got these many followers, all of that. But on the contrary, he seemed like, a little more hungry to learn even more. Right. So we actually said, hey, listen, we have this going on, this weekly brainstorm. Why don't you come in and just talk about what you've been building, what your key challenges are right now, and I thought it would be fascinating conversation for few of you. I see, a lot of people who have joined in. Thank you for joining in on time. Thanks, Lalit. Lalit's also joined in. He's the founder of AirMeet. It's really cool to have you here. Maybe you could, have a few words on stage once Kyle is done, if you have the time. I'm not sure. And the format is very simple. I also know that a lot of meme chat users are here. Thanks to Kyle. Thanks for joining us. Unsolved.xyz is just it's a startup platform where if you have as simple as an idea, you help you make progress with it. And we keep having these conversations and brainstorming and things like that, so that we can learn. Hopefully, the audience takes stuff away that they can apply to their lives as well, right? Um, um, Format is going to be, I'll hand over the stage to Kyle. He will take you through a 5 to 10 minute on meme chat, what they do, right, what stage they are in, and what they are launching right now, and what this brainstorm is really about. Once you get that context, we would invite you to kind of tell us how this can just be blown out of the park, right? I mean, I think that is really what we are looking at, helping Kyle think through, just brainstorming about. Quick things on AirMeet itself. You have a few options on the right side of the screen that you are in. If you have any questions for Kyle, basis his business model, or any clarifications, put it down in questions. There is a chat which is general chat. You can chatter amongst yourselves, but questions for Kyle, please add it there. So immediately after the session, we'll try and address some questions, and then we'll jump into brainstorming. So broadly assume 10 minutes for, Kyle, 10 to 15 minutes for questions, and then full blown brainstorming on how to kind of, help meme chat just kind of, blow up, right, from all that they're trying to achieve in the next 3 months. That's around about it. I'm going to hand it over to Kyle. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, Kyle. And do
Thanks,
tell us
Ishan,
more.
for a lovely introduction. Thank you. So Memechat. So Memechat is a meme-based platform where we really value our creators and very value our users. The main focus of the platform is memes. Everything is in the form of memes, news, media. Memes in the coming time has been such a penetrating form of viral content. It makes things viral, from the YouTube versus TikTok that you've seen. Memes are the ones that made it actually go viral to the next level. In fact, maybe any topic, memes make it viral. So how about have a platform, an organized sector platform, where users who make these memes are monetized. There's only one place where you can get all the different kinds of memes, and where people actually have a lot of fun. And there's Facebook, there's WhatsApp, there's Instagram. That's for your friends. Meme chat is for humor, for communities, and for you to build upon that. Now, Memechat is a platform with right now 430k users. It has grown 30k since I last spoke to Ishwar, and it's regularly growing at the pace of 3,000 to 4,000 users per day. And the way we monetize our business is we have brands come to us, and these brands, what they want is they want meme marketing. So what meme marketing entails is, we create memes, and those memes are then pushed out on our social media platforms. And we own a lot of social media platforms like the Sarcastic Indian, Shit Indian Say, one mil. They all have 2 million, and about so many more of these pages. They have 2 million, roughly followers on each page, and we broadcast these memes that these brands want, and that's where our business model lies currently. It's a bootstrap model, and right now it has been very service led, which to be honest is not something that I would want to continue with for a long time, because in order for us to scale up, it's very important to automate these things, and that everybody has an option of going into this marketing sector and market their product, and not just brands with a high budget. Because currently what's happening is brands who have a higher budget would tend to spend on this, not startups as much. Probably funded startups, they spend a lot, but it has to be a very it's a very restricted approach right now, as of this point. So now moving forward, what we have planned is that we are going to automate this thing. Automate this how? Is that many, if there are meme chat users on this platform, they know we have something called paid templates. Now paid templates is basically a branded template where if you create a meme on that template, we know it's a branded template, and we push it out to our pages if we like the meme, that is. And because of that, we decided that what if everybody had the option, all startups, however big or small, have an option of having that power to create hundreds and thousands of memes for them or their company with a click of a button. Why should it be brands and agencies being involved? And there's so many other complications, as many of y'all would know who has taken out a budget for advertising or marketing. There are so many agencies involved, there are so many complications and things like that. So now what we are doing is, now we are pushing this focus towards a platform which we are calling Studio, Meme Studio by Memechat, where users will be able to, where people and brands, anybody will be able to upload a template, click a button, set the target of memes you want, and boom, within 10 minutes you should have 100 memes ready. Within about an hour or 2 hours, if the template is good, you're going to have about 1,000 memes ready. And that is where our focus lies. So like how you have Google ads and TikTok ads, we aren't focused on the brand giving us content to post. What we are doing is we are making our users engage with the brand's ideologies and brand's emotions, and that is being spread out. So basically what we are trying to do is, I'm basically taking your feedback, your idea for the brand's product, and featuring that. So it's a more self intrinsic kind of approach, where it's like a genuine approach, because a user does not know a lot of things about brand guidelines. A user knows what he sees about a brand, and I think that is what other people should also see when it comes to any brand: the originality for that brand. May it be Hotstar, Netflix, Amazon Prime, OnePlus, or whatever brand that may be. So that is what we plan to do with Studio for Memechat. Now, Studio.memechat, I will give you all a quick sneak peek on Studio. One second. Ishwar, is my screen being shared?
No, not yet.
One second. All right.
Yep.
So this is Meme Studio by Memechat. It's don't create ads, create emotions, because that's what we intend to do. We don't want to create, a normal ad for you. We want to create something that is going to penetrate the audience for you. And that is what is important. So for all those of you who don't know, this is what memes are. Android, iOS, Shashi Tharoor, and probably you have seen these memes before. These are made by us. And the idea is that if these things can make you laugh and smirk, each of these memes are promoting some brand to the other. This one is promoting Spotify. This one is promoting Bajrangi Bhaijaan, which is on Netflix. This one is promoting Android phones in general, Google. This one is promoting Breaking Bad. So every meme over here is promoting something or the other, and it makes you laugh. It leaves an impression in your mind, and that is what we want to target. So if you really know how much memes can penetrate, you can have a look at this. This was for a campaign called Rangbaz, 60,000 likes. This one is for Swiggy, Uber Eats, Zomato, 38,000 likes. So it
That's
really
just the
penetrates
likes,
with the
right?
audience.
That's
Yeah,
just the
this is
likes, because then the views will be like massive multiplier.
the uh, it's about 10%. The impressions to likes ratio is 10% roughly. So you would
Okay.
imagine that. So it's like, the thing is, it's not as expensive as you would to boost a post on Facebook or boost a post on Instagram. It is it's an organic penetration, and that is what every brand should aim for. It should be organically penetrated. Like, all right, I need to have one idea about the brand, I understand it, and then it should spread organically. Because and every person who makes a brand or makes a company, they believe the product is good, and that is what we have to highlight. You have to bring out the goodness in that product and showcase that. That is the most important part. So these are like our current numbers. We are right now 430,000 users, and we have these many pages with these many followers. Of course, the followers could be recurring in a couple of pages, and it's a simple it's a very simple procedure. You create a campaign, you choose a template. If you don't have a template, just upload a logo, and then just sit back and relax. You'll get, the memes will be posted on our app. It also come to you as an insight. You can see the likes, views, everything. And my main reason for doing this also is that the meme community who makes these memes, this viral content, right? That is more monetized. People can eventually earn money from it. How YouTubers make money through videos, people who make this form of content, memes, which is so valuable, they should also be monetized, and which will, create another segment as a profession, being a memer. So this is what it is. I will walk you through on how this is exactly done. You create a campaign over here. Simple. Choose a meme count. Choose your template, a template title, template description, and a coupon code. You go over here. You can see all the campaigns you've made over here. These are all my dummy campaigns. So you've seen this is a campaign where you have uh, 606 memes created, 20,000 likes, 2,060 comments, and 168,000 views. So as you can see, this is content that actually people made, and these are likes that people's content got for your brand. This is not like any other form of marketing, or anything for that matter. This is like the true feedback and review that people are giving for your brand using your brand's idea. So this is what the entire concept of meme chat is based on.
Hey, awesome. I'm just gonna try and ask some basic questions, right? And anyone who has questions, please do raise it on the questions tab. Um, so essentially, what you're saying is that there's a community of meme lovers that you've created,
Yeah.
right? Who are anyway creating memes because it's just fun for them, right? I mean, it's entertainment. It's fun for them. All of that. Um, and Memechat.app is where you can find you, right? And studio.memechat.app is where you can.
Studio.meetup.app is the latest
Yeah,
concoction,
yeah. Let
and
me just.
that is probably going to be our main business website.
Yeah. Um, uh, just give me a second. I'm just answering a few questions on there. The second thing that you're saying is because there's a community, they love creating content. You're trying to see how do you ensure that there is an incentive for them to also create some forms of content, right? I mean, anyway, you're giving them templates to make content creation easy. Though I'm assuming a template is not required for some creative folks, they will create their own templates as well. But you also create templates so that this becomes easier. Content creation becomes
Yeah,
easier, and people
we
are.
have a clear idea of what has to be done.
Yeah, got it. And some of those templates you're saying can be paid templates by brands,
Yeah,
right? And if they're paid templates and you're creating something for a brand, you can also earn from that, right? Your community can earn from the creation, the act of creation.
yeah,
And all of these memes are currently distributed on your distribution channels, on all of your social media
yes.
fan pages.
Currently on our distribution channels and within the app itself. So the insights that you saw when the screen share that I did, that was
Yeah,
within the app itself,
got it,
selected
got it,
real time.
got it, got it, got it. And I'm just going to take a few more questions from folks here, right?
Yeah,
So I think some people are asking whether memes can be a credible way for brands, to trust that they'll get promoted. Like just because it's something that people just laugh at, like are there certain types of brands that can benefit? Like let's say if I'm a serious, like I'm a hospital, right? And just taking an example, right? You may not be able to leverage that, but if I'm a fun youth brand, I'm assuming. So there are a few. Uh,
and interesting you said about the hospital issue.
yeah,
Thing is, it's not the hospital we are trying to promote. It is
yeah,
the story behind the hospital. For example, there's a news article or a PR article which says that this hospital saved risked their lives and saved these many thousands people people
uh,
from COVID. There you have the content. There that is to be promoted.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I hope that kind of answered the question. I think it's kind of industry agnostic. You're just trying to find what is that hook, right? That people are
Yeah.
going to be interested in. I mean, like obviously they're not interested in knowing that this hospital is located here and whatever else, right? And that
Exactly.
they save so many lives. That's not not typical advertising content. But what you're saying is that, hey, listen, if you make this interesting, right, and if there's a story around it, then that story can be kind of accelerated or promoted amongst a larger audience.
Exactly. It's
Again,
a story.
yeah, I think okay,
That is
that
why TV series and web series and movies are so much easy to promote as compared to other brands. However, we do for other brands also.
got it. Do you credit individual creators when
Of
you
course,
post?
of
Yeah,
course, definitely.
yeah. Are there any copyright issues? Lalit asks.
Uh,
That I don't
so
know, from a certain image being used. Like let's say if you use Bajrangi Baijan and someone uses the image and creates something and it kind of becomes a controversial meme
so
of
when a paid
sorts.
template is uploaded, we believe that the brand is uploading the paid template.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
brand is giving that copyright permission for that image.
Got it. Got it. Got it. You are taking that explicit sign off as well, hopefully,
Yeah.
that they
And the
accept.
memes that are created for the brand can use anywhere royalty free.
Yeah, 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 yeah. How's it different from 9gag apart from,
See, nine gag. The thing that I know about nine gag is a place where you just get memes. There's no community. It's not community centric. We are very community centric. We bond with our audience. We listen to them, and we monetize our users. They can form their own meme communities within the app called meme chat groups, and that is where our main idea lies. It's about monetizing, making basically making this unorganized sector organized for not just us, but for everybody.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So you're saying the community is the big deal here, because I'm assuming 9gag. There are a lot of these meme template sites, right? Like you just go, you pick up a template,
Yeah,
and
Android,
you
there is memes, there's a lot of places. Yeah.
yeah. But what you're saying is, because you're a community of creators, those creators post, there's upvotes, there's, all of that as well on your site. And, I mean, some of the comparisons that I made when I used Memechat was it felt very Redditish at some level, but all the discussions are around memes, right? So it would just be a fun meme being posted, someone would upvote, downvote, all of that. And that's pretty much the incentive for the community, right? The creator has a natural social incentive to create,
Yeah.
right?
They're
Social
in
incentive
fact
on,
incentives. They're in
yeah,
fact incentives.
yeah, exactly. So there's a social, and now you're saying that there is a paid incentive as well, right? So there are paid templates.
In fact, the my main point being, Ishwar, is that my app is whatever it is because of these 4 lakh users that I have. So
Yeah,
on my part, it is the morally right thing to do is to pay my users for the content they've made. Because if I am benefiting, I think they also have a right to benefit from that business model.
yeah, I think that's a phenomenal thought. I think it just makes total sense for people to figure out how to share onwards, right? I think that makes a lot of sense. Oh, okay. So there's a comparison, right? So is it like 99 Designs? Because 99 Designs does this, community that creates logos and websites, and you get multiple options for your logos, and then you select which ones you want and things like that. Similarly, you can commission a meme creation exercise. You can get hundreds of memes created, and distributed. Would you call that a fair enough comparison, or is there more to it than that?
I wouldn't call it a fair enough comparison. It's because would you as a user, uh, it is something. The memes a person makes or the memes a person shares. They show it off to their friends. They show it off and they share it in fun. Like, hey, see, I made this. Have a look at it. You know, it's you want to bring a smile. You want to bring some laughter into other people's lives, and that is where this idea lies. you know
So I think what you're saying, the difference over here is that, 99 Designs is only the creation component, right? They'll
yeah.
create a logo and give it to you. But here there's natural distribution of that content as well. So you're not just creating, but the users themselves, if they like the content, they're just going to distribute it. They're going to share it with people that they like. You are sharing it on pages. So I think there's a lot more from a value angle that a brand can get, right? I mean, there
Yeah.
are comparisons that, a community is creating, but there's a difference because the community also enables distribution, right? I think that's what you're driving at. Quality of memes be ensured in this model. Is the payment to the meme creator based on how viral it gets, or like, are there any uh, how do you equally want, pay meme creators, or is it?
I'll tell you something interesting. So, with 400,000 users and 30, 40,000 memes coming on a daily basis, which is a lot of content for
Yeah,
400,000 users. That is like, every, 1/10
yeah,
of the audience is posting something every day.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
but it's not like that. It's actually one user actually posts 10 pieces of content a day. That is how it works. But the thing is, how much of content can a person consume? you know
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like there is some piece of content that's going to get a lot of reach. There's some
yeah,
piece of content which won't get a lot of reach, because there's
yeah,
only a limit to a certain extent how much content can someone consume on one platform. It is restricted by the number of users that are on the platform. It is also restricted by the amount of content that comes on the platform. For example, if less content came on the platform and there were 400,000 users, each meme would have gotten more reach as compared to all the memes coming in together. We don't right now. There's no payout based on the reach and the likes, but there is a like a down payment that we give to the users for creating.
okay,
Be
yeah, yeah,
something that we can add later on, when
Yeah.
reach stabilizes in the platform.
Sure. 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 Could Sagar asks if there's some economic, some numbers that you can share, like a typical campaign budget. Like, what is the minimum budget that someone needs to spend on, let's say, studio.memechat.app to get some results, right? I mean, what do you
So
think that
for
number
Twitter or
would
Memechat or app,
Yeah.
you spend $500 to get 10 memes.
Okay.
You know,
And
it
okay,
starts with
awesome.
1,000, but I'll give you a discount code for 50%.
Okay, awesome. So super. I will share that discount code onwards.
Yeah.
But okay, so
But,
you're saying,
but if you're talking about a big campaign, like
yeah,
it's Amazon Prime or Durex or any other TV show or anything, it starts with about 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, something like that.
got it.
It's
But
it, it
just try and run me through some average results that you think that a $500 spend could achieve. Average, obviously this is not controllable by you. Or let's say 500, if you want to scale that up to 5,000 buck, 100 meme kind of thing, right? Because that may give you some more leeway to play with. So let's assume 5,000 bucks spent, right? Do you have something that you feel could be an average, and we're not going to hold you to this, I know you're on record, but obviously there's going to be ups and downs in a viral world.
yeah.
And you can't guarantee results in a manner, because this is organic reach, this is creator based content, viral content and stuff like that. But is there something that people can say, hey, on an average we have seen these kind of trends, right? Or we feel that this is what can be done with a 100 meme creation.
So that is so here's the thing, all right? There are distributors. All
Yeah.
right. Distributors have their own premium that they charge for distributing content,
Okay.
right? Now our job is to optimize the content so much that the distributor who's distributing it on his channel, can the brand can maximize from that. Right now there are a lot of agencies that are trying to come into this sector of meme marketing, influencer marketing, and all these things that you must have seen with the rise of TikTok and everything. But it is how much of value can that bring to a brand. Now, I do not want people to see this as something as how you would use Google ads for.
Sure.
Imagine this to be your billboard. This is your social media platform. Maybe suppose you are a brand XYZ, you have a page XYZ. You start posting memes on XYZ on your page XYZ, and you see how the engagement rises. You know,
Sure.
it's not just your conversions that you get. That all right. I'm going to be blinded to the only thing is I'm going to be blinded to the amount of downloads I get for getting this one meme posted or getting this one meme made. It is something you can't quantify like that, but it is how you engage your customers. It's how you engage your audience. Because see, like the Z Gen, you call them, and the millennials, they are attracted to this form of content. And
Got
if
it.
and most brands are targeting that kind of audience. So this is supposed to be used for your own social medias. Apart from that, it is also used as testimonials for your own social medias. Apart from that, there's also a feature which is not right now in the studio where I can embed a brand's link in the meme. A very strong call to action. So every meme with that template on the app, like I just showed you 606 memes made for that template on Hotstar. Every meme could have that uh, link opening to Hotstar and playing that very scene.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand how the organic shift takes place? It's like you click the meme and you take into Hotstar and you start from that very scene that meme template was on.
Got it. Got it. I still think somewhere there people are, like,
But if you want, like you said, like how much return it's going to give you,
yeah.
something like uh, 5,000 bucks could give you anything from 100 downloads to 3,000 downloads.
Oh, okay. Or sign-ups as well, right? I mean,
I
some.
know because I have to use. This is the only see. We don't have much money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the strategy that I have to use to promote my brand.
Yeah, of
And,
course.
so we are on the highest end of that spectrum where we
Got it.
spend that much and we get that much in return.
Awesome. There's a bunch of questions, that people have here. Sagar, you have multiple questions. Would you just like to raise your hand and kind of come on stage? That may be easier. We can start with the whole brainstorming comment. I think what we want to really drive here is that, so far as we had this conversation before, you said that a lot of business that you generate is services led, right? Like you talk to a large brand, you talk to a Hotstar, you talk to a Prime or a Alt Balaji or someone else, right? And then you're getting these, big deals for 5 lakhs or something to promote a show, promote something else, right? Using meme marketing. And what you are really trying to do now is that how do you ensure that this same power of meme marketing is now available to someone who wants to spend as little as 500, right? As what you said, right? I mean, can they come in and commission a 500 buck or a 5,000 buck creation and still test out how this world is working for them? Is it working? All of that. You're trying to make it that simple for people, right? I mean,
I
I get that.
definitely. In fact, the studio.memechat is like I have mentioned before. Uh, it's a two-phase process. The first phase is implemented where people can get memes created. That is the first phase. You have content for your brand. You can
Okay.
now imagine the different ways people think about your brand or the different ways people are perceiving your brand. And if you do notice that, all right, this is not matching my ideology for the brand that I intend, you can always tweak that up a bit. It's a learning thing. It's like you're getting direct reviews and feedback for your brand. The second phase, which we
Does your brand have to be famous? Because some of the
no,
examples you took are a little famous, right? Because like, what if your meme community doesn't know my brand at all? Then how are you dealing with that? I mean,
if the community doesn't know, like there was the option of a description and a title. Just make the title and description elaborate. Our
sure.
team ourselves will edit it so that it's best suited. But it's very important to make people realize what your brand does, because maybe your brand is not popular, but the concept of what your brand is based on is penetrable. You know
Yeah.
that should be understood well.
Got it. So you're saying that the concept has to be popular and not necessarily the brand, because if the
Yeah,
concept goes viral, then the brand has a rub off, right?
yeah,
That's what you're saying. That I think that's very good insight, for anyone actually, right? I mean, because what you're saying is the power of going viral is not a function of who you already are, but sometimes just what you're leveraging off, what
yeah,
kind of a trending topic you're leveraging off, and you don't even have to figure that out yourself, right? Because you're saying that the meme community already has a gut feel for what is going to be popular,
yeah.
right? What is trending, what is popular, what to write about, what to use in their templates, all of that. They have this gut feel already, right? So if you're able to lay out saying, I want to talk about this, I don't even know how to talk about it, right?
In fact, that is the main challenge that we are going to face, Ishwar, is that getting uh, we have to have a very strong team to make people understand as to what this is initially, you know, and the power you have over it. This is you run your Facebook ads, you run your Google ads, and this is not something that we are trying to compete with either.
Yeah.
What we are doing is something totally different. It's based on user generated feedback, user generated content, and sentiment towards that content.
One question: is there any like risk for the brand? Like, let's say because I'm commissioning, let's say 100 memes, 1,000 memes to be created, right? Um, uh, uh, and these are being distributed with my name on it at some level, right? I mean, it's a branded meme, right? So, uh, what if one of those pieces of content kind of flares up from some controversial angle, right? Uh,
Exactly. In fact, that is what we are strongly doing. Every piece of content that is coming on the app is moderated by a real human being.
oh, okay. Like every piece, not just
Every piece of
not
content.
just paid, not just paid, but every piece of content.
In fact, what I have right now done is me and my CTO Ujwal. We have created an AI an ML algorithm which basically classifies, because we have 2 million memes that moderators have already moderated before. We
Yeah.
create a very legit, interesting data set
Yeah.
and have created like an algorithm which will basically auto categorize memes and auto approve memes.
Oh,
But
nice.
still not perfect. We still see a lot of flaws in that system. Something probably we're getting closer to, and we will get closer to. But till then, every piece of content coming on the app will be moderated.
Awesome.
And we kind of need to shift this kind of mentality that people have of these controversial topics, because users create controversial topics to get likes and views.
Yeah.
They get reach with that kind of content.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd like to emphasize on this point. When a user talks about a controversial topic, or especially a memer, me being a memer myself, it's not that I endorse the concept, is that the memers are making sarcastic fun out of that.
Sure.
So what I have decided to do is, in every caption for, let's say, a dank meme or a political meme, we
Yeah.
tend to write this asterisk, this is only intended in sarcasm and humor.
Got it. Got it. Hey, would anyone like to come on stage? I'm not sure if Lalit is still around. If you'd like to ask some questions directly, you're in super viral territory yourself, but naturally as a product. I think he's also, yeah, that would be great. Hey, awesome. Thanks for joining us, Lalit.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey,
Hey,
Alex,
Ishwar.
how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm really amazed by the kind of clarity that you have about your business, man. And you're just in college, not even graduated. So I'm super, impressed by the clarity of thought. And I think this is a great concept. And it's only recently that I've become uh, some sort of a fan of memes itself, because it's very catchy, right?
Hey,
So so in my team now there are many Gen Z people, right? In my ME team, which is now 30 people, 30 people strong. So there are at least 50% Gen Z guys, and they only communicate via memes. And I just love the way it communicates the whole emotion. It also adds there's a bit of humor, sarcasm, and this lot very strongly visual element to it, that I've started to become a firm believer that this medium is going to grow. And hence I was very keen to know what Memechat is doing. And I think Shubham from Matrix Partner is also here. I think he should also just have a
I'd love to pull him on stage as well if you would just like to ask a few
sure,
questions.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have no question. I just have words of appreciation, so all
thank
the
you
best.
so much. Thank you so
Thanks.
much. Means so much. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, Sagar.
Hey, Ishwar. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Sagar.
Hi. So great presentation, Kyle. Like Lal mentioned, I think given your age, you've been able to not only create something which is, very viral and,
Thank you.
sort of now getting mainstream, as well as, your current thought process, also seems to be very much intact. I just had few thoughts here. See, one is meme or anything that is sort of going viral. A lot of it is sort of passion driven, where people create content, people like content, and that sort of explains the early adoption that these things have. The moment you sort of get into the monetization aspect of it, right? Money is involved. I think some more deep thinking is needed, both from the payout side as well as the brand side, because so far the guys who are creating the content weren't really doing it for the money. I would think it's mostly a sort of an expression of creativity. I do understand you've always had the monetary aspect as well, the payout aspect. But if I were to sort of do some rough calculation, 5 rupees base price and plus minus 10 paise for every upward, downward,
Yeah.
didn't really amount to a very significant sort of, I mean, I think your stated mission is also to sort of give them, enough pocket money when you sort
Yeah.
of start.
Right
Now,
now.
obviously, you're looking for something much bigger, a bigger game.
Yeah.
And when you have to sort of create money for them, you have to figure out how the money is going to come from, right? Which is where the advertiser side is coming in. And advertisers. And so my background is I spent the last 10 years in ad tech space. So I come from the world of paid advertising. And what I understand is. See, thanks to Google and Facebook of the world, no matter what we say, ultimately the advertiser is going to question
Yeah.
performance. right? I mean,
Yeah.
one could sort of want to educate them and say, here is what it is, and you should discount the other aspect, and there is an emotional. I mean, as for brand campaigns, right? This is something that most video campaigns struggle, saying that people have seen your ad, they may have not acted on it, but they've seen your ads. That itself, has generated some sort of an ROI for you. But brands, advertisers tend to sort of discount that, and they say, okay, how many views and how many clicks, and then eventually, down the funnel, what all actions were taken.
No, it's very
So,
true. Very true.
so I think that would be a challenge. I think trying to sort of educate them and say, okay, this is not how it is. It's not going to work out. I mean, I'm just being slightly critical here because I want you to also sort of benefit from
Yeah,
some of the
exactly.
feedback. Because what you don't want is, you don't want this to be part of the innovation slide of a marketer's annual review presentation, right? Saying that innovation kya kiya, so we did Memechat, but mainstream we spend like 95% of our money on mainstream ad and then 1% on Memechat. What you want is, you want to sort of increase the share of your share of the overall spend pie.
Yes. Yes.
So right now, what I see is, you have obviously the creator part of it, which is the meme creation part, wherein you are sort of pitching to the advertiser that we have something that will create a nice meme, which will have its own virality. What you don't control is the reach part, which is whether the virality would actually happen, whether it would get distributed, and then how much measurement you have on about those things, because you're currently limited by your own organic reach, which is limited. I mean,
Yeah.
if you are TikTok or if you get to that scale, then obviously the equation will be very different. So I think that's something to think about in terms of how do you and even on the payout side also, what I understand is you're essentially paying out for the creative value of the meme, right? The distribution part is not even factored in, right? You basically
That's
saying
a
that
good
here
point.
is a meme, and then if you get a lot of upwards, then we're going to pay you more. If you go downwards, then you're going to sort of reduce the payout. That then becomes a proxy of, if the quality is good, then hopefully the virality would catch in and hence distribution would happen.
Yeah.
But you don't really have neither control or visibility on what exactly has happened. So maybe it would be a good idea to sort of look at, how can the distribution part also get tied up. Now, your current meme creators may not have the. So I'm talking about meme creators plus influencers in
Yeah.
some
So
sense.
right now we do distribution, but only when we have right now a major revenue is distribution and creation. But the thing is, this is directly connected. We pitch to the brand, and they come to us. That is how it's done currently, because
Okay.
it's not on the platform right now. Though we have an influencer dashboard and an influencer platform where pages are associated, we have that right now in place, but
Okay.
something that we cannot use right now, because what we tend to do is something like a YouTube partner program.
Hmm.
How you select creators. This is an option that I will not be able to give to every creator, unfortunately. But we have to. I think it is important to select the best creators and tell them, all right, now this is where you can earn like a lot of money, and then generate a massive revenue. And then right now we do run a distribution channel through the app itself, but it's not for brands to directly create a campaign on. It's
Correct. But
for us to create a campaign.
the distribution channel is, the pages that you listed out,
No,
SIS and
the app itself has an influencer dashboard. So there are certain users that have an influencer dashboard shown to them where they get posts and they get content to share on their distribution channels. And the moment they share it, they get paid.
okay. And do you
Right.
have like some measurability of,
Yeah.
is it only share, or is it like you're also checking? So if it's say Twitter or Facebook, are you also able to then track to
Yeah.
what extent
So
Facebook?
basically, the influencer dashboard is that if I can show you on my phone, one
Okay.
second. I don't think it's going to be very clear.
So that's okay. I think for
So if you can see, one second, my phone, you
Mhm.
have this influencer dashboard. You have the campaigns that come for you, post on IG, post on TSI IG. You click the link, it gives you the post, you share it, and then the insight is collected. So we have this in place, but the only thing is right now not putting it public until we can have a bigger team to manage it, because right now me and my other co-founder are the only coders who build the entire platform, iOS, Android, backend, website, everything. So something that I will want to do with a bigger team, because I don't want to risk, the entire the platform for, because to monetize. Because right now everything has been in the focus of, we are not a funded company, and I was pretty young when I started this, so the option of funding was not a very strong option. So every decision I made was something that would also give me monetary benefit. In order to sustain a platform, I thought that was the most necessary thing to do. That I right now take it up in small pockets, and now our distribution channel is very big. Now we do a lot of meme campaigns for a lot of brands, but it's only coming through direct sales, not a platform which is automated. And my goal is to make this entire thing automated and smoother. So right now, still a lot of studying is going on my part. I'm still understanding the best approach to automate this entire system. That me and my team can sit back and see the creation unfolding in front of us.
Yeah, no, makes
Yeah, yeah,
I think one point that Ishwar also alluded to earlier, which is in terms of advertiser acquisition, right? So there are definitely certain categories of advertisers, certain categories of brands or types of brands that have inherent sort of one, of course, they are well known, and second, there is an inherent nature of virality in them, perhaps mostly because of humor, right? So brands
yeah.
like Durex or Fevicol, or these OTT shows, right? Family Man on Prime and so on. Outside of these brands, but do you have examples? So I've seen one, I think, which is Vimal Masala.
There is this OnePlus, Xiaomi. There is, so in fact, me and my team, we study brands.
Mhm.
In fact, so I'll tell you something. We were dependent on many agencies for campaigns, because we are not a sales team. We are tech guys and we are content creators. So depend on many agencies for campaigns. So me and my team decided that, what, let's do one thing. Let's just make memes for brands and let's just share them on LinkedIn, saying, "Hey, we saw this meme for you. I hope you like it." So the brand replies saying, "Oh yeah, very interesting." And then we say that, "Okay, we made this." And then we got a few campaigns like that. And the thing is that many people are right now not even, they don't know much about this entire concept of marketing, which is super penetrable. And it is something that can get a lot of conversions if done right, if the correct placements of your links and your call to actions are done precisely well. And that is something, still as a company, I want to study more and learn more with my people, because studying is the most important thing.
Just last couple of questions. So just extending, the question that Ifar had asked. So when a brand spends, X amount, how are they evaluating the return? So is it in terms of, I spent 5,000, so I got like X number of memes created, or X number of memes and then Y number of upvotes created, which essentially is sort of proxy for the money being well spent. Can you
So,
sort of
interesting, for movies and web series, it is just the amount of likes and clicks it gets, likes and views it gets. For an app, let's say an app like, let's say Memechat, we personally evaluated on the basis of the downloads we get. Because that is, as a startup, see, a startup does not really much care for, as a startup, I don't much care for how many people have seen it. All right, it feels good that people have seen it, but eventually I want downloads. That is the main thing that I want as a startup. So my evaluation is based on the downloads personally. And we have personally cracked with Memechat, having a very low customer acquisition cost, you know kind of figured out how this can be done.
got it? And just one last question. So, given your current run rate, are you sort of maybe this is you can choose to not answer as well, but are you like cash flow positive? What is the
Oh,
sort
it's
of
cash flow positive. We make a decent amount of money through this,
that's great.
but enough to manage 600,000 users, 700,000 users. But post that, we would need, we would raise a round. In fact, I have delayed it so much, thinking that let me just try to pull it off without a funding. Let me try to pull it off without a funding. And I've built it so long without a funding, because as a 15-year-old student, I used to
Yeah,
pitch investors and stuff like that. Never got an opportunity to do that. I pitched in front of Sam Altman as well, and for Y Combinator, and because of my age was rejected. So I thought to myself, me and my co-founder Tarak, that let us do this. and come hell or high water, I would do it and will do it, no matter what the cost is, because that is the most important thing. And but I believe, if you have an idea, it's not money, is not the restriction, it's how you pull it off. you know it is how you pull it off. It's like the bond that we create with our users, that is the real value that I have. you know it's like these people who would come to our rescue, our loyal fan base, and that is the thing that we're trying to build, and that is what we intend that all brands should build with their audience. That loyal fan base, that even if things could go wrong, even if our servers are down one day, even we are not there probably the next day, it is there. They are there to support us through this thing. So that is the most important thing. So funding is something that we are probably will be looking at and are looking at. But even if not, we will, definitely execute this to a million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million is the wish.
Hey Sagar, thanks a lot. I'm just going to try and pull up a few more folks and say, but very, very valuable, both from a question angle and just, just that focus on ROI, right? I think that's pretty much, and I think you answered it yourself, right, Kyle? I mean, the way startups look at it is at the end of the day, how many downloads did I get?
Yeah.
How many signups did I get, right? I mean, of
I
course,
will
they're not as
definitely,
easy to measure
yeah.
because, like, it's not easy for you to measure their results, right?
But I will definitely create a plan, an idea, and my own study to help these
Yeah.
startups do it, because I want them
Yeah.
also as my clients. That
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
main thing.
yeah, yeah. No, it
So
absolutely makes sense. I think the lower the ticket size, the easier to access, and I mean, if it starts generating results, I think, if you're able to go viral with a few clicks, I mean, like I don't think anyone really has an easy answer to that, right? I mean, no brand has that answer, so it's a lot of effort, right? And you have a community of just viral creators. I mean, that's crazy, I mean, that's really cool. Sagar, again, thanks a lot for being on stage. I'm just going to
thank you
try
so
and
much
bring
for
up
that. It's great
Shubham
talking to
on
you.
Good luck.
stage.
Good luck, guys. Good
Yeah,
luck.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Lalit, I'll have you over immediately after. But hey, Shubham,
Hey,
hi.
Shiva.
Thanks for joining us.
No, no, thanks for arranging the session. Actually, I was a bit late, so sorry about that. No, Kyle, very inspiring. Really love the clarity of thought, and if I was half smart at your age, would have been very different
Thank
outcome.
you so much.
All of us feel that way.
I think everybody. I don't believe anyone is smarter or anyone is dumber. Everybody is the same.
No, no, great. I
That
just say
is what
only.
I
Oh,
believe.
so I'll just say one question. See, a lot of these Googles of the world are investing their Gboards, right? So keyboard is becoming the kind of key focus of a lot of these people. I don't know if you notice in China, especially, all the OEMs are actually tying up with keyboards, and because they can get data and so on. Do you see keyboard as a distribution platform for you or as a threat?
Keyboard as in.
Because in keyboards I can also make all these memes, right? I mean, I'm using keyboards for all the memes these days as an option.
Is it another meme creation platform, Shubham?
So I mean, there's an option to create. I mean, to choose a bunch of things in the keyboard, and you can send it in WhatsApp directly.
So I
Uh,
have not
Okay, okay.
checked out keyboard.
You know,
Uh,
I guess he's just talking like right within WhatsApp, like how
oh,
you can how you can click a GIF,
okay,
send a
that.
correct.
GIF,
In fact,
create a meme, send a
I
meme.
my interesting question that you asked, but I do have a plan to integrate this like a Jiffy or a stickers option for sending memes, and that is what I want to do. But currently, I don't have the bandwidth to do that. I have the bandwidth to actually supply the content because we have a lot of content to supply. But I guess it's how do you reach out to brands and ask them this thing?
Yeah, sure. No, I think that it can be a great distribution platform for you, for
You
sure.
know,
So
definitely keyboards is a great way, and in fact, you saw Jiffy's success recently.
Yeah,
Jiffy and stickers in general. I think stickers are super monetizable. There is, you have like a Starbucks sticker, McDonald's sticker. In fact, the concept of Venmo, which is so popular in America, it's not in India.
yeah, yeah. No, great. All the best for this. It was great, and Ishwar, thanks for organizing this. This is really nice.
awesome.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
no, thanks for dropping in. It makes a huge difference to just have the VC community kind of participating in a brainstorming session with founders, right? I think it just gives a very different perspective to founders, just to think from kind of an investor's angle. I mean, just this small interaction with like I think some of the like if I had to take a takeaway, I mean, I would almost think of it like a question. I mean, somewhere there is a threat to your company, right? If someone integrates with the keyboard, then there's a threat that that becomes the most popular distribution channel, right? So looking at that, and if you somehow manage to crack that yourself, then it just becomes, it goes through the roof, right? So just getting that mindset somewhere there, really helps founders from a thinking standpoint,
It's a
right?
very, very, very interesting idea and very highly monetizable idea.
Yeah.
Getting the keyboard functionality in it, it'll be just you just search for the kind of emotion you are and you get the memes on it and then you just click it and send it. That is what we would definitely would be the dream to achieve. Only thing there are big calls I would have to make to WhatsApp and Facebook to get that done.
Those those will be figured out, I guess. Thanks a lot, Shivam. Thanks for
Thank you so
joining. If
much.
there's anything else you'd like to add, otherwise I'll just have Lalit on stage as
No,
well.
no, please get Lalit on stage. I would have asked more questions if I actually heard the entire session. So hopefully next time for sure. Thanks again.
Sure, sure, sure.
Thank you so much, Shubham.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey,
Yeah.
Raj.
So, hey, man. So I just heard you, talk about distribution multiple times, right? So to me, like potentially as a brand, uh, it is kind of like creating a great YouTube ad, right? A great meme, a very very catchy meme. It's a creative output, right? And which is very separate from the distribution. Now, distribution is something that the company can do with whatever marketing muscle that they have, whatever integration that they already have, etc. The creative aspect of the meme itself is a huge value, right?
Yeah,
So if you are doing, let's say, already a good job on this community of creators, right? I think it might be a great idea to just double down on that first, right? Because no matter how the distribution happens, the creativity or the awesomeness of the meme actually trumps any amount of distribution. A great meme will get distribution on its own, right? So I would say, you should not get too much distracted by, let's say, distribution to start with. Your monetization model should also not directly tie into distribution, because you don't really know about the brand's affinity in general, right?
yeah,
It will not be a very popular brand. Your creative output, in fact, your deliverable should be a great kick-ass meme that they love. Very
exactly.
similar to the JWs of the world, or this very big agencies. They only deliver a great video ad, and then it is up to the brand to do whatever they want to do. They
Yeah.
don't actually get money based upon performance. You should also not really get yourself in line with performance. It's just a creative thing. So just get, and try to position yourself like the best way, or the best platform to get creative memes.
Which is very, very insightful. Which is,
Yeah,
in fact, something definitely, it's something which is, and apart from that, it's a easier option to execute. It is a better option also to execute because you have like a
absolutely,
unique USP that you can, always say that this is the very
absolutely.
thing. Definitely, I'll definitely look into, and definitely do.
Lalit, just a question here, right? I mean, even between the bucks that a large advertiser spends, uh, sorry, yeah, okay. I think Lalit dropped off, or I'm not sure.
I think
Um,
it's currently active.
are you able to see him?
No,
Or oh, okay, yeah, it looks like he's active, but nonetheless, okay. No, one of the questions that I had, right? I mean, between the spend that a brand does on creation versus the spend that a brand does on distribution, right? There's a lot, probably more money spent on distribution versus creation. And I completely agree. We're just brainstorming here, right? So at the end of the day, it's for you to take what you have to take. I understand the role of focus, right? And your creation is your strength right now. Um, but somewhere on that roadmap, if you are able to enable anyone to come and pick up memes and make money off it, any distributor, I have an Instagram channel, I can give you 1 million reach, right? Uh, but I need interesting content to share as well, right? And now, if you're able to power that through as well, apart from your own proprietary channels, allowing pretty much anyone who distributes content to get creative content and share it. There may be something in it, but you should still play to your strengths, right? If the
You know,
community is your strength.
interestingly, this is something that I've thought of, that in order for me to maximize the benefit, as you mentioned, it is very important that we understand the distribution channel that is tied up with us or partnered with us. Because the content that I send them to distribute, the meme that I send them to distribute, should really penetrate their audience, and their audience can only be penetrated by the kind of content that distributor, that person puts on his social media. Because that's the kind of audience he's going to have. So it has to be done, I think, very, very smartly and very accurately. Understanding the audience behind that creator. Let's say a PewDiePie or some other creator. What is the content that they put, and what is the memes that will be best suited for, because there are so many ideologies in this country, in this world, that you cannot put anything on any page. It has to be chosen very well. And I think that is what it's very important for even brands to realize, that content has to be very selective. Currently, the scenario and the state of affairs is just distributed no matter what, just distribute it and show me reach, show me engagement, which is not the way it is supposed to be done, which I will not advise any startup to do.
So you're saying the content needs to be great at the first place, right? I mean,
The
like,
content is great at the first, see, the thing is, content is always great for 1% of the audience or 2% of the audience. But you need to put that content on a channel in which that 1-2% audience is 100% of that audience.
sure. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
That is
Yeah,
where you
no,
maximize benefit.
that's super insightful, right? You're just saying that this content has to be extremely relevant to that community where it's distributed, rather than just distributed to any community, right?
Yeah,
So if it,
for example, the unsolved team
yeah,
makes a meme on you,
yeah,
would be funny to them.
true, got it,
They would like it. But
yeah, yeah,
to, let's say, another company, it
yeah,
won't.
yeah, makes a lot of sense. um this is super. I mean, uh, just give me a second. I'm just trying to see if there are some questions that I've not taken. Swami asks, is there a way to kind of do memes which are more subtle, professional, and more apt for B2B marketing? Do you think that that's possible? Have you like had any success with that? You know, uh, is there a way to kind of, I don't know, penetrate a B2B audience? I don't know, like say Slack or a startup group, or I mean, I can see like an unsolved community is like a little bit like a B2B audience, right? They're all trying to start up different things. But do you feel that there is some opportunity there where instead of it being, as I think he's just looking for it to be slightly more professional because of the kind of audience that he has, right? But
When you suppose you want to do B2B marketing, let's
yeah,
say, all right, you are not exactly targeting the company. You're actually targeting the brand manager, or
sure.
the who is or the
Or the
company.
buyer, whoever the guy within that
That
company is.
person needs to penetrate with the content, needs to resonate with the content. That person, it's very important that that person resonates with the content. So in order for you to, it can be executed, definitely it can, but you need to have good insight about the kind of person you're going to see, kind of person who's going to see it. That is what things, what makes things viral. It is understanding people and what people want to see.
Yeah, I think that's a super powerful statement to kind of leave us with, right? If anyone else would like to come on stage and ask a few questions or share a few thoughts, anything that can help them from a like, actually, let me say this way. I think someone asked a very specific question, right? Is there a specific company or a set of companies that you want to reach out to, that you don't yet have, and this community may be able to help you in some way? Do you and you could probably leave an email address if someone could connect to you, right? I mean, if there's a set of companies that you've been looking to create something for, right? So
I mean, so every company that we do, plan to approach, when my team plans to approach, we carefully study them. It is important to study them, study the services they provide, study, what they. So, this is, I'm going to face a lot of obstacle when it comes to insight and understanding. Why?
Hmm.
Because here it is not that a company will just put a Facebook ad and then boost post it. No, and then choose the target audience that they want to reach. I, as a company, in order to give the best results to a person, have to understand that company. कि ठीक है, I will try to understand what you're trying to bring to the table, what you're trying to offer people, and then let's see how me and my team can push it to the people, to push it to the masses. That makes me in a position where it is very important for us to be maestros at consumer behavior, which I
Uh,
don't believe we are.
there's a quick question from Aman, and he's asked it a couple of times. He's asked me to say, please convince Kyle to say something about the new meme scheme that you are launching. Uh, would you like to say something about it? He's asked multiple times.
The new meme scheme.
Yeah.
So the new meme scheme is that I plan to heavily monetize creators. It is giving them more opportunity to monetize their content, and hopefully make transform this eventually from your pocket money to a salary. You know,
Awesome. So you're actually saying that people could live off meme creation. That's the goal, right? I mean, like people live off YouTube. There are a lot of YouTube creators who live off YouTube, right?
definitely, and I think it's going to happen one day. Maybe not tomorrow or day after, but definitely one day, and it'll be meme chat only. Hopefully.
Awesome, man. That's really awesome. I'm just going to ask Swaminath over. He had asked the B2B question. I think he may have a few more either suggestions or questions there. Just trying to hand over the mic, Swami. Yeah.
Hey, sure. Thank you.
Hey,
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 Uh,
Swami.
hey, I mean, listen to. I mean, this is the first time I'm listening to meme could be a business model. I mean, thanks for the insight. I have one question. Memes are more, how do I say, very focused on your local market. The content has a certain association with the time, right? It's very sensitive to the time because the context is very localized, right? What is
yes,
your
yes, yes.
plan for actually going across globe? Is there something which you are thinking about it,
In
or
fact, my plan is to right. So right now we have 430,000 users, which is at this point also a little hard to manage. But first we tend to go big regional, then we tend to expand internationally. Or not, I'm not very sure of this thread, or expand internationally and then go regional, because I would first want the international audience be completely socially acceptable,
right?
as a platform. Because even things like, let's say, TikTok and YouTube has taken a very very bad turn for TikTok. You know, it's probably because they TikTok is still not very socially acceptable in the tier one city, in the
True.
tier one cities, and that has been the problem. However, if TikTok was like Facebook was first, socially acceptable in tier one cities, and Instagram was socially acceptable in tier one cities, so when tier two and tier three people joined in, it did not make a difference, and they were happy because it gave them reach. But when the thing is, you get the point I'm making across, that if the tier one person who is
Right.
very socially judgmental comes on a platform and sees certain things, they might not be. It is. Uh, I don't know how to put this without being.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So that's one of the reasons why I was telling, I mean, my question was also related. So B2B, if you're looking at, right, say take a brand like a P&G or a Unilever wanted to reach out, or, if some companies like a startup wants to communicate with a bigger brand like Aditya Birla, right? Uh, we we do, yeah, email campaigns and all those traditional way of approaching. I've not seen somebody reaching us to say, hey, I will create a professional looking meme which can actually trigger that conversation much faster than an email campaign would do, right? Something like in those sense, we've never heard. And and there that cultural sensitivity,
Yeah,
the how do I say, the contextual alignment. One misfire would cost me a lot more than a regular typical boring content, right? Here the I mean, how do I put it? I don't know,
yeah,
but the content could
right.
could have a lot of subtlety which would impact. So, do you have plans to segregate the content in those mechanisms? Is
Yes,
what
so
I
in fact,
So
for
actually,
brands,
you know what, Kyle, I have a suggestion here, right? So when people are doing a self-serve model, I think you could also show up types of memes, like let them select
right.
memes that they like
yeah,
so that becomes like a selector, right? Saying, hey, memes that I like and I think are appropriate for my brand. You just keep showing them stuff that they can keep clicking, saying this I like, this I like, this I like the format, whatever, right? Once you do that, you have a much better understanding in a self-serve manner on what and even the brief giver, right, doesn't have to put it in words. They're just saying, hey, these are the memes that I think are interesting,
Yeah.
styles for me, right, as a brand. So they just keep ticking things they like and think that they're all appropriate for the brand, and yeah, and then that serves as a brief for meme creators as well, right? This is typically what even 99 Designs does. Right, but when you kind of commission a logo, they'll ask you what are the logos that you like in general, and that becomes a part of your brief, uh, right? So it kind of makes it gives a lot more context to the whole thing.
no, definitely, it is important to meet the brand's guidelines, and it has to be very acceptable to the brand. That is important. And having a brand approval system is something definitely I plan to do for startups. Problem with big companies is that they don't have the time to look into everything in every detail. That's why they get agencies to do the same job. So for these big companies, I think it is important for us to act like an agency to them or a company to them that will sort it out for them. Because it could be a tedious task for them to get a person who will
why
understand
why
memes.
don't you partner with creative agencies? Because a lot of these initial days when you look at even Facebook, right, or Instagram, it was not necessarily that the brand approached, or rather the brand was approached by Facebook teams. Rather, companies like I think Wildfire, creative agencies, which are who were operating on that space, were the ones who created a theme, and then they reached the brands to invest on them, right? So it
Yeah,
was, and it is not like a standalone a brand will have directly and then come and put it in a platform. It never happens,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
So partnering with a creative agency may be a very good
Yeah,
start for you to scale it up much better, right?
yeah, definitely. A creative agency, because they are the ones who actually sort content for the brand.
Yeah, so they always have a theme and a campaign budget, and they will know how much can go where. So that way, partnering with a creative agency, maybe it can open up more doors for you with the big brands rather than you reaching out to them directly.
Yeah, no,
Makes sense. Makes
makes
sense.
sense.
All the very best, and if there are any further developments you are doing on B2B and internationalization, let us know. We would love to hear that, and.
Definitely. In fact, my main aim is to try to figure out a way, because there's always a way to figure out
Right.
on Brainstorm, to actually get into every segment and every segment that is out. Then help everybody in that way.
Beautiful. All the very best.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Hey, it's kind of 12:15, guys, so I'm going to, I know everyone's taken a lot of time out and joined this session, but I also have to be conscious of time. Kyle, thanks a lot for joining us, just sharing your thoughts on virality,
Thank
culture, context, concepts, all of that. I don't know. I hope there's some things that you've gotten out of it as well. I think the audience
Definitely.
got a lot out of it.
In fact, I've noted it down.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's great. The session doesn't really end here completely. We have 50 folks who have joined in. There's stable networking. That's what Amit enables. It is meant to be beyond the startup that's presenting, and also about you as a startup, and you just share, what you're doing on the tables with others on the table. Please go ahead and hang on for that networking session. Kyle, of course, if you have the time, you can join in the social lounge. I do know how your days can be, from a.
Definitely, I mean, I see a couple of questions over here.
Yeah, please take them. Yeah, 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 sure.
Yeah, can you give ads on our memes like what we see on videos on YouTube? It is something that I cannot do because it goes against the model completely. It is the meme that you're seeing is the ad.
No, no.
So
I guess what they're saying is, let's say you have a feed on Memechat, right? Now the feed is only memes right now.
yeah,
Now, what if it has an ad in between as well?
it's called the sanctity of the content.
What about a sponsored meme?
What's that?
So it's not an ad, but it's a sponsored meme, like a boost post,
So
right?
definitely, that is something we would do eventually when it scales up to higher number amount of users.
Yeah,
Because if we just put an ad in the feed and then
yeah,
expect people to see it, it won't happen. We have to sponsor boost content, which is the meme only, in
yeah.
order to captivate audience, but at a later stage with a higher
Got it.
amount.
Got it. Sponsored memes. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense as well. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. There are a lot more questions here.
Which kind of company or startup would you like to collaborate with if at all you had a chance to? By
So,
Shri Shaurya.
is there anyone with a direct copy from the community standpoint, or are most of them just giving you meme templates right now?
Pardon?
Are there any direct competitors you have from a meme community standpoint? Uh, Not that you are aware of, at
Not
least.
that
Okay. Yeah.
not that.
Okay.
There was
Yeah.
actually no. There was one app. Uh, I forgot the name, but there was one app, but it was acquired by ShareChat. Memer.
Ah,
Memer.
okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. It sounds good. Again, Kyle, thanks for everything. And we'll take a break now and move to the social lounges where the table networking still continues. Uh, there's no major rules for table networking. If you're at a table, you've had a conversation, have it for 5 minutes. If you want to jump to another table, just get up and jump the table, right? So don't try to keep. The objective is to meet people, just share what you're doing, see if you can hit it off, collaborate maybe. uh, we don't know what emerges, but we're just trying to say, hey, there are a lot of founders here. They could exchange business, they could exchange tips and tricks, they could brainstorm on each other's businesses. We don't know what happens. And a little bit about Unsolved. If you're an early stage entrepreneur, if you're idea stage, you're trying to kind of figure out a platform that can help you make progress. We are pretty much the ones that will help you do that. Go from idea to MVP to more, right, through these conversations that we keep having. And hopefully I have a raised hand over here. I'm going to just take this last one from Arun, right? Yeah.
Kyle, hey, hi, man. Hi,
Yeah,
Ishwar.
Right.
Hi, Kyle.
yeah, Arun.
Hey, phenomenal, man. This is great.
Thank you.
So I just want to know something, right? So I come from the financial services background, right? So it's a place where most terminologies and most concepts are not broadly understood, and the medium is kind of difficult to sort of penetrate. A lot of terminologies and things like that. Do you see a proposition for that? Do you see something that people don't really understand, right? There's a huge community in financial services that's trying to sort of simplify a lot of things, right? That
I kind of understand where you're coming from. There was this brand called ET Money, right?
right, right,
A company called ET Money. Now,
yeah,
when you talk about millennials, you know, mutual funds is something that won't penetrate with millennials.
right,
So the concept goes with
right,
but it is understanding the target audience is the first thing, and finding the distribution channels for these target audience, or where will I find this target audience, and the best place for the distribution channel is your own company's page. Probably you might have to spend like a little more in order to get that initial audience on that page, but posting good content on your own social media channels can really boost any company. I think for any startup, including my own, I believe that that creating your own social media channel will be your own final distribution network, and the people who are on your social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, they are the ones who you need to convert finally into your users.
Right, right. So you're saying, just hitting it off, you're saying that maybe the concept's not by itself, like you mentioned earlier, maybe the stories that go behind that is
Yeah.
what will basically sell or penetrate.
Yeah, I think engaging users with that kind of fun content. Everybody likes humor. It's something that
Right,
it works with everybody. So
right,
it's getting to that audience, understanding them, put out content for them, and then converting them into your download or your app or usage or sale or whatever that may be.
right, right, right.
Yeah,
Great,
understanding is so important.
great. Thanks.
Awesome, man. Thanks a lot. We're going to take a break, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. We do this every Saturday at 11. We try and have an interesting conversation. We hope there's something for the audience to take away, for me to take away, and hopefully for the founders as well, right? Who present and take the time out. Thanks a lot. See you next week, same time, 11 o'clock.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.